talk about burnout. Burnout. First of all, what it is. In simple terms, is basically when you gas out, when you burn out effectively. It's when you have no energy to deal with the fact that you have no energy. It's when you're so tired, you're so drained out that you can't even conceive the idea of taking a break. Even a break is too tiring. But really, what happens when you burn out? Well, let me tell you a story. So, 2 years ago, more or less, I opened the Leeds Drum Academy. So if you've been following my story, you know that this academy became quite successful. I'm not gonna say that, I'm swimming in money and fame. No, but I'm okay. Then last November came. You see, in 2015, I hosted roughly 11 events here at the Academy. All of these events with big names of the drumming industry, Thomas Lang, Aaron Spears, JP Bouvet, etc, etc. Then in 2016 I decided to take a break from the events, hosted maybe 4 or 5, and really focused on building the company, building my personal brand, and kind of focused also on having a son. Because, my son was born in April last year, so I was enjoying that as well. In the middle of that process, I realized that I was only one person doing all of this. I was trying to live 3, 4, 5 lives and I just couldn't keep up. By October, I was tired. And then in November, I collapsed. I just couldn't focus anymore. I just wanted to stay in bed, and effectively I did stay in bed most of the time. Surely I was still coming back to work, I was teaching, I was powering through, but my mood was horrible. I had no energy. I was completely drained the minute I woke up. It was just very difficult. It was getting overwhelming to run this business by myself. Having to deal with emails, events, guest teachers sending emails in saying that they wanted to do a masterclass, a clinic or whatever here. To fix things at the academy, to keep the place neat, to teach drum lessons. I was busier than ever. I was and still am teaching roughly 40 students a week. That is a full-time job already, and I was doing all these other things as well. So, conclusion, I was working like 100 hours a week. So you see, I just couldn't do it, and I didn't know what to do because I had to keep the business open. I couldn't just close the doors and go home and take a break. So this constant battle was just relentless. I just couldn't cope with the idea of having to do the same thing every day. I was just exhausted. So I gave in. I told some people that I was just burnt out, couldn't do it. I had to take a break from all the responsibilities besides teaching. I had to fall in love with teaching again. I was completely exhausted. Then December came, and finally I went on holidays. Of course, as you can imagine, I just broke down. As soon as I took a break, my body broke down, I was poorly, the whole 9 yards. And then I came back and I started to plan my way out of that nonsense. It wasn't possible that something that I enjoyed so much doing and building was now killing me. So I hired an assistant. And then I decided I need to push myself further. So I decided I'm gonna open a new music academy. So this is something that I was already planning on doing for a long time, but in December, in the midst of a complete meltdown, I decided this is the time to excite myself again. I'm not gonna become this. Instead, I will fight it by doing even more. Now, I had a plan though. I won't do anything that I don't like doing. That was rule number 1. So that's why I hired an assistant. You know what? I'm sorry guys, I don't like dealing with emails. I still do it a lot, but I don't enjoy it. So that's Anita's job, my assistant. then I didn't want to deal with any of the advertising aspects of the company. I supervise it, but I don't actually create any advertising campaigns anymore. Also delegated that. I'm building other websites as well that relate to other side businesses, but I'm not actually involved in the making of the websites. I'm again just supervising. And that suddenly made me realize that I don't have to do everything. It feels good to empower other people. And man, did I miss drumming. But there's an important question here. Why do people burn out? Well, there are many reasons for why people can burn out. To work excessive hours? That's me. Poor diet? That was me. To not take care of myself, as in doing things that I also enjoy? That was definitely me. But there are more reasons. And one of them was definitely me. You see, I'm one of those people who hides all the feelings. I show them in the wrong way most of the time, but when I don't, I don't. And then there's this horrible feeling of not being understood, not being seen. It's almost like all your efforts, all the work, all the caring doesn't really matter. But what I didn't understand was that was my fault. I wasn't communicating properly. I was just getting frustrated. You see, here's what I learned. No one actually has to care as much as you do. We think that, we want that, we desire that only because we want to have a reason to keep on caring. So for example, it was quite hurtful for me to realize that my partner, Catherine, didn't care about the Leeds Drum Academy and the educational project that I have going on as much as I do. And that really, at times, infuriated me. I couldn't understand it, and it was really draining. And what it was is that I was asking for help. I was desperate because I wasn't caring. I couldn't feel that passion that was fueling me when I began. So I was hoping that someone else could care for me. And when she didn't, I felt that that was the end. And all that energy that I had left was gone. I wasted it trying to get someone else to care for what I care about instead of me, so I could take a break from my responsibilities. I was exhausted. All I wanted was to believe that if I collapsed, someone else would be there to pick up the pieces and take care of things. And when I realized that because of how I operated the business until then, that wouldn't happen, that was it. So my friends, we burn out because we don't share. We burn out because we don't ask for help. We burn out because we don't indulge. We burn out because we are not disciplined. We burn out because there's this mindset in today's society that if you're not struggling, if you're not pushing yourself further and harder than everyone else, then you're not doing it right. But guess what? You can be more than what you think you can be. You can push yourself further. You can challenge yourself and still sit down and play with your son. Do that.
Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing. Was ist? Lulu. Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing.